It's very important to know your audience. But sometimes people think that this means that you need to know everything about each past client. What they do, their favorite foods, all their kids' names, and keep notes on these things, and hope you can remember them all at a moment's notice. Well, that's not what we mean by knowing your audience. 99% of the messaging that you'll see, whether it's online and social media, email campaigns and blogs, or wherever, the focus is always on the industry. Market reports, property values, Fannie and Freddie, today's rate, the latest programs, rules, etc. I want you to think about this. If I was an architect and I designed a building for your business, many of the details would be relevant during that design process, but once it's finished, if I started sending you articles about details on drafting and design roof shapes and went into great detail about gable roofs and shed-type roofs, it would be interesting, but are you really going to be interested in knowing the finer points of architecture? When someone comes home from work and they get a marketing piece from you, going into detail about the industry and showing your professionalism isn't a bad thing, but Fannie Mae won't keep them engaged. When your past client was in the process, they were engaged. Now that the home is theirs or they have the check, they don't see the industry the same way. They don't have the same passion for real estate and finance that you do. So if you're marketing your business by only talking about your business, you've created the first crack that allows the referrals to slip right through. Since loans and real estate are big ticket items rather than small ticket items, there's no clever marketing package that's going to take someone that closed 2 months ago and entice them to do it again. Now, if you had a sandwich shop, for example, you could successfully get someone into your restaurant a couple times a week, and you'd be doing pretty well if you could duplicate that. The only way to successfully increase referrals from past clients is through the relationship that you developed during the loan or purchase process. And when you think about what you know about your client base, you know that you developed a relationship. People refer their friends to those they care about instead of someone they barely know, or worst yet, someone they forgot about. What must be understood is this: the real estate industry is relatable to the people that work in the industry. The average homeowner, borrower, or seller, they're not borrowers, buyers, or sellers anymore, and they won't be for quite a while. The National Association of Home Builders tells us that the average home is owned for about 13 years. It's the referrals that make the difference. It's a tough pill to swallow for some, but the truth is, you are not your customer. Knowing your audience is remembering that when they came to you, no matter how they got there, a relationship developed. That relationship starts to break down because your only contact with them is information that they don't relate to any longer. They can't understand it the way that you do, or they can't take advantage of it for years from the time they bought, sold, or refinanced. Know your audience is made up of real people. Know your audience doesn't see the industry the way that you do. Know your audience has developed a relationship with you. Know your audience is where the referrals come from, and don't neglect the power of the relationship that you've developed. Remember, in many cases, you're responsible in large part for their home. Know your audience will send referrals to their friend, the loan officer or realtor, before they send them to the person that they don't know or they just can't remember. This is what we mean by know your audience. Everyone runs and sees their business a little bit differently. This is why we always suggest that you take the time to have the marketing needs conversation so we can review what it is that you've been doing and the goals that you're trying to reach. Having helped many originators and realtors turn their marketing completely around, I can tell you, they all see things a little bit differently. So be sure to schedule your marketing needs conversation and review today.